take off, take flight with you. For we never fly, but we're flying.
Hi, folks. Welcome back to Take Flight Podcast. This is episode number 145, and it's part of our solo takeaway episodes, where one of the hosts of Take Flight Podcast walks you through a topic that they're passionate about and they feel like the listeners can gain a lot of value from. On this week's episode, it'll be hosted by myself, OLU Okinola. In this week's episode, I want to talk to you about how you can double, triple, or possibly 4x your current income. Now, the way I'm going to be able to do this is walk you through my journey of how I've been able to 4x my income over the last 10 years. If you're currently watching this video on YouTube, you'll see on the screen a chart where it shows my starting salary in 2012 and how I've been able to 4x it. Now, I've removed the numbers because the numbers don't really matter, right? I could have started off at 10K, 20K, 40K, 50K. That doesn't really matter. What matters is how I was able to multiply my income. So hopefully by listening to my journey, you're able to take lessons learned and implement it in your life. So let's start with 2012, where I joined a graduate scheme. Now, this is my first recommendation to anyone beginning their career is, if possible, join a graduate scheme. The reason is because you get on-hands experience, qualifications, and in most cases, graduate schemes will give either 6 months or annual salary increase. The one I worked for gave me a 6-month salary increase. So I was able to significantly increase my salary from when I started to when I completed my graduate scheme after 2 years. The second advice or recommendation is around your sacrifice years. So, especially in the early years of your career, you have to sacrifice. And what I mean about that is my first 2 years, I pretty much either lived at home or didn't rent. I was either traveling with work. So, what that meant is I was able to save as much as possible. And the reason why I saved so much money was because I knew I had to turn my earned income into income generating assets. No matter what stage of your career you're in, there's going to be a period in which you're going to have to sacrifice. And what that means is save as much as you can so that you can then invest it in either income generating asset or into potentially the stock market or whatever sort of assets you can think of. So fast forward, third recommendation, you'll see in 2013, I was able to purchase my first investment property. So I was able to use that earned income that I'd saved to turn that into an income generating asset, a property, which I rented out. Now, looking at the current climate, house prices are significantly high, especially if you live in one of the big cities like London. I wasn't able to purchase a property in London in 2013. So what I did was I moved out or found somewhere outside of London to be able to purchase. And I'd always recommend to anyone, when purchasing your first investment property, it's okay to purchase it outside of London or where you particularly live. Look for where you can afford, because the quicker you can get on that property ladder and invest, the quicker you'll be able to get some income generating assets, and the quicker you'll be able to get the appreciation of that asset. So that's my third recommendation. My fourth recommendation, which spans from 2014 to 2018, is gain as much qualification and experience as possible. I did that through joining a leadership program. So through that leadership program, I was able to gain hands-on audit experience, um, interact with the leaders of the company, gain as much qualification and experience during that period of time. And an added bonus was, again, every year I was able to get a salary increase and a promotion. So you'll see a pattern emerging. So I did graduate scheme, again, experience, qualification, salary increases. After that, I joined a leadership program. Again, more qualification, more experience, and also salary increases. Fast forward again, 2016, I purchased my second investment property. You see another pattern emerging, turning my earned income into income generating assets. You're not going to be able to 4x, 5x your income just by focusing on your salary. You've got to look at your salary, see what you can do to increase your salary, but as soon as possible, turn that salary, your earned income, save it, and turn that into income generating assets. That was my fifth recommendation. Continue generating, moving your earned income into income generating assets where you don't have to work for them going forward. The sixth recommendation, which spanned from 2018 to now, the current date, is challenge yourself to move every 2 to 3 years. And what I mean about that is during that period of 4 years, I moved roles probably 4 times. And what this meant was I was just gaining more responsibilities, taking more challenges. As soon as I felt comfortable in a particular role, I spoke to my manager to say, feel like I've done a great job here. It's time for me to see what else can I find. Now, I did this internally. Some people do this externally. So every sort of 2, 3 years, they will look for new roles, new opportunities. Now, the reason why this is good is because when you're moving, in most cases, you're going for a promotion. So you can demand an increase in your salary. So that would be my sixth recommendation for you. Over your period of time, if it's 2, 3 years, you should challenge yourself, reinvent yourself so that you can find new opportunity, new responsibilities, new promotions within your organization or externally, which will also result in your salary going up. Now, the final recommendation and step on this chart is in regards to starting a business. So I started a property business with a close friend of mine in 2019. Now, the first couple of years, I didn't make any income from it. So after the third year, now I've been able to start to see income and pull income outside of that business. So starting a business is also a great way to increase your income. I hope that journey has made sense to you. I think there's a lot of themes that you can take away from that story or that journey that I gave you. So I just really want to summarize some of the key things that I did over the last 10 years, which allowed me to 4x my salary. And hopefully you can take that away and implement them in your life. I think the first key lesson learned is that earned income is not going to be enough. It's going to be really, really difficult to double, triple, even 4 times your income if you only focus on your earned income. A real theme that came across on my experience and my journey was the ability to turn my earned income, so my salary, into income generating assets. The second key lesson that I learned is that qualifications are key when it comes to advancements in your career. So whichever industry you're in, you should look at how can you reinvent yourself? How can you increase your skill sets so that you can then go to your manager or you can perform at a higher level in your current job. And by performing at a higher level, you'll be able to demand a promotion and a salary increase. And these qualifications could be either industry specific or they can be soft skills like presentation skills, communication skills, etc. The next key lesson is moving about 2 to 3 years. Now, in the last 10 years, I've moved a tremendous amount of time, but most of the people that I know that have been able to increase their salary, they typically move every 2 to 3 years. After they get comfortable in a role, they've added value in a particular role, they look for a new challenge. Now, this can be internally. If you've got a company or an organization big enough that can allow you to move internally, highly recommend that. I did that. I've stayed in the same company for 10 years. Or looking externally. Now, by doing it externally, you're able to then benchmark what your salary should be in regards to the market. Now, my fourth recommendation for you is If possible, now I know this is not possible for everyone, look to start a business at some point. The reality of it is the first year, the second year, you're probably not going to make any income. But potentially, as you continue working on your business, building your business after year 3, 4, you can start making additional income from it. And the fifth and final recommendation that I have for you is taking more responsibilities. So, taking more responsibilities is two things. One, within your current job, asking your manager for more responsibility. This will allow you to stand out and also allow you to have reasons to ask your manager for a pay rise, right? As you're having more responsibility, next you can go over to your manager and ask, say, hey, I've taken on X, Y, and Z, and now I'm ready to, I feel like it's time for me to get a promotion. And with that promotion, you ask for a pay rise. I hope these lessons learned have been helpful to you. If you have any feedback on any of our topics and want to DM us, you can DM us on Instagram at Take Flight Podcast, or you can email us at takeflightpodcast@gmail.com. Please also subscribe. We're now on YouTube, so you can find us at Take Flight Podcast on YouTube as well. So take care. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and God bless.
Take off, take flight with you. Yeah, for we never fly, but